Agora eu gostaria de passar a palavra para Jonh Budrys, como vai? Jonh Budrys es un amigo que pertenecía al grupo Mufon y que após una palestra que yo di para Mufon en 2020, conversamos y él se ofreció para ayudar, ¿no? En asesoramiento y en la traducción de algunos papers, ¿no? So, I would like John, friend John, I want to invite you to speak, né, some words about this historic moment, what the Brazilian government made public the recognizing of ufologists as occupation. Feel free, John.
Excellent. Excellent. I actually hadn't heard that, and because I don't understand Portuguese, I've not been understanding much of what's been said. So I had a few remarks. You asked me to make a few remarks. There's a helicopter flying overhead just now. Thought I'd just give a little news from USA here, world that I'm involved in with ufology. I hope I don't duplicate what somebody else has said here already, but I imagine you've heard of Grush and Colonel Nell's testimony. Colonel Nell was somebody that just came out recently here on an interview, assault interview it was called. He's quite interesting, quite credentialed. One of the pieces of news I just heard recently, I know that Parte, the group that speaks to experiencers of alien contact, which I've been doing for about a decade now with various groups. The ERT is the Mufon branch that speaks to experiencers. And back in December of 2021, Mufon saying that the ERT was no longer to have alien contact, was to now enter all the details of the experiencer's story into their computerized database, and failure to do so would be cause for immediate dismissal. A number of senior members, including myself, resigned from the group as a result. Recently issued another edict, effective first month this year, that no longer is the ERT group to any referrals, experiencers who wish to speak to someone privately. They will no longer read those directly. From now on, a field investigator will investigate the case first and determine the validity of the person's story and come up with a disposition. And then afterwards, the ERT may be called in to experiencer generally wanted to do in the first place, not to be investigated. But it's the ERT group that used conversations has now been really relegated to a clerical function, that just putting data into the database. And it seems quite clear that Mufon is selling this data to government and other agencies, are trying to mine the data perhaps for advantages, military advantages, or whatever. News. I had two other little small topics I wanted up. One was the kind of a recent increase I've noticed with other researchers here in the U.S. of people having more negative experiences, painful things versus speaking to aliens. I don't know if you're having that same phenomena in Brazil. But I really think these are mill labs done by government or other secretive agencies that are taking people or visiting people. I'm not sure what's going on, but they are very negative experiences that I've seen an increase in people having these. And the third thing I wanted to bring up was I have been telling people about 40% of people that have alien contact are having healings done. And I've talked to, like I say, several. What I've suggested to people is if they have some medical condition, why don't they ask the aliens for some help? I advised one woman who had chronic pain, why don't you, before you go to bed, ask the aliens, say, you aliens are getting something from me, perhaps I can get something in return. Maybe you can relieve me of some of this pain. She called me about 2 weeks later and said that she had tried that. She was laying in bed, had closed her eyes, asked the aliens to heal her of the pain, and she said she did not open her eyes, but she saw the room was filling up with light through her closed eyelids, and the next morning she woke up and was pretty much pain-free. I asked her what percentage, and I said 25% better, 50%, 75% better. No, she said it was more like 95%. 95% of her pain was gone. That was about a year ago. Just recently, I talked to another woman who I gave the same advice to, and she said that she was greatly relieved of back pain she'd suffered most of her life by asking the same thing. I don't know if Brazilian researchers are finding the same phenomena or not, but anyway, those are 3 things I wanted to bring up, and maybe there's someone that has a comment that might be able to say it in English so I can understand, but I'm really sorry I don't understand Portuguese. Un poquito español, pero no portugués. So gracias. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Jonh. Jonh contó así, en líneas generales, en líneas gerais, ele formou parte do Mufon durante muitos anos, formou parte de um equipo de pesquisa que chamam experiencer, ou pessoas que experimentaram um contato com alien, não como a forma de nossos projetos, que seria um contacto psíquico o físico con flujo de informaciones. En el caso de ellos, estos experiencias incluyen este concepto de contactado como nos, porém también incluye otras formas de ese contacto, tal vez en viaje astral, ¿no? A través de análisis de hipnosis regresiva, ¿no? Entonces, el concepto de experiencia, ¿no? Es un concepto más amplio que de los contactados. También Eli, que formó parte del Mufon, ¿no? Eli nos parabeniza de la manera como hacemos nuestros trabajos, ¿no? De una manera abierta, ¿no? Nuestras pesquisas, nuestras publicaciones, y agora, ¿no? El fato de ter sido reconocido pelo gobierno, ¿no? Es una contribución significativa internacional, ¿no? También Eli comentó algunos otros detalles, ¿no? Más yo reconozco que no o língua es una dificultad para mí.